We just had a national election here in the United States, and a lot of people are very upset with the outcome. To an extent, that's always the case, but it's a question of degree. These people can't get past it, and that's literally driving them crazy, which is somewhat humorous so long as it doesn't turn violent. I was paddling around the internet and I came across a link to where Rob Reiner was blasting Donald Trump. I thought I'd like to catch that, so I clicked it up. And he was blasting him all right. He called him a pathological, lying, racist, anti-Semite, misogynist in league with Russia. He called him very, very scary, part of a totalitarian oligarchy. The way he gets away with the stuff that comes out of his mouth is because he's a celebrity, Reiner said. If he was a tramp on a soapbox in a park, we'd walk right by him. It's crazy. It's like Alice in Wonderland. It's mind-boggling, Reiner said. Our only hope is that they impeach him right away. Someone else said how crazy it was that money from Seinfeld syndication rights was helping to fund this guy. Right, Reiner said. That's crazy, all right. And it doesn't end there. My wife is a photographer, and she took the picture they're using for the cover of The Art of the Deal. So, you know, we're repenting. Hearing all of this and seeing Reiner waving his hands and getting red in the face, my first thought was, holy smoke, this guy was not just playing the meathead. He was the meathead. He is the meathead. His reference is to a famous TV sitcom. The reference is to a famous TV sitcom, All in the Family, where Reiner played the son-in-law of the show's linchpin, Archie Bunker. Times had changed, and Archie wasn't happy about any of it. He pigeonholed all of humanity by ethnicity, religion, politics, dress, whatever. And show after show, Archie would trumpet his ignorance as if it was penetrating critical insight. Assisted by brilliant writers who could hone a double entendre with the best, not to mention the flying malaprops, Archie would slay all of his dragons, then take a seat in his favorite chair, which is now in the Smithsonian, and call for a can of beer. He named his son-in-law the Meathead because he couldn't work because he didn't know how to do anything, had ultra-liberal views on everything, the war, race relations, the economy, the environment, women's rights. The only thing the Meathead had going for him was that he was adored by Archie's daughter and only child, Gloria. Gloria was not bright, but she was loyal to her man, and she could handle Archie. Because they did not have any money, Gloria and the Meathead lived with Archie and Edith, which was hard on Archie and great for viewers. I thought about Reiner repenting for helping Trump, even in an inadvertent way. He was kidding, but serious too. It's funny how actors can feel guilty or be dogged by the characters they play. For chilling example, Ned Beatty never got over the role he played in Deliverance. Carroll O'Connor played Archie Bunker, and by the time he was done, had established him as a legendary figure in TV history. And O'Connor spent the rest of his acting career trying to atone for having done that. There was a sequel, I think it was Archie Bunker's Place, about a bar. I didn't watch it, but I think O'Connor used it to try to soften Archie's abrasive character. From there, O'Connor went to a show set in the Deep South, modeled on a hit movie, In the Heat of the Night. In the movie, Sidney Poitier played a black police detective up from the north who was going to a small southern town to solve a crime. He's met with, and overcomes, resistance and hostility from the all-white police force in that town. O'Connor took the role of the chief, who is initially, let's say, skeptical of the interloper, Virgil Tibbs by name. Standard police work begins to draw out their relationship, which moved from high alert on both sides to a distant tolerance to a quiet respect and acceptance to a point where the chief is just about the best friend in the world to Virgil and his wife. If anyone wants to mess with either one of them, they'd have to go through the chief to do it. The show got almost silly in its all-out earnest attempt to create racial harmony. O'Connor's personal repentance had only begun. Eventually, his character would woo a gorgeous younger black council member, and then he would wed her. They too had been at odds at first, but they graduated finally into a blissful, tender love affair. So O'Connor completed his repentance, but not without cost. I believe that the actor who played Tibbs, Howard Robbins, got into drugs and died. I know that O'Connor's son, Hugh, who played a cop on the show, also fell into addiction, and it killed him. He shot himself because after many attempts at rehab, he did not think he could beat the drugs, which is purely sad and quite unlike the spirited rantings of an apoplectic, antic, agitated, aging Meathead.